Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayo. I want to welcome you to today's program in the beginning, Ashur. As always, thank you for watching, spending time with us. This program, uh, you can reach Assyria TV on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, Facebook, and X, Twitter. Also, we have AssyriaTV.com videos that you can see throughout these years that been what they call it archived. Also, we have a live stream on Assyria TV, live stream on Facebook, Assyria TV, and AGN TV. All right, today's program, the title I put Q&A regarding the last two programs. Previous program was with Professor Efrem Yildiz regarding Patriarch Sako, and the previous one was regarding Bishop Yusef Toma. And there were many comments, many questions, many, lot of things that, and generally I don't answer on Facebook or on YouTube because it becomes a waste of time going back and forth trying to write. And it's just, I put importance in the comments. That's why we have these Q&A programs that we go over the subject that it matters most to those of you that have made comments. And today's the program that we're doing this, mostly regarding those two last programs that we had. Uh, the one with Professor Yildiz, we received as far as viewing between uh, Assyria TV AGN on Facebook and on YouTube, over, I believe, 13,000 viewership we had. So apparently religion sells, right? Well, try not to be funny, but it's been very interesting going through the comments, through the concerns of my fellow Ashuri people. And before getting into some of the comments that I have chosen, I mean, there were a lot. Like I would say, here we go again with these emails. My apologies. So we go, there's so many, probably 75 to 80% of the comments were positive regarding, especially Professor Yildiz, the way he spoke and all the information that he shared. And appreciate all those positive comments, which is great. The portion is today we will go to other comments that they were made, and as I said, it's better to answer it on a platform that I have instead of just going to Facebook or YouTube, and just it gets lost, as I said, the importance of your comments. So before getting into some of the comments or what was said, one thing that I've noticed is that there were a lot of comments were made was more emotional than logical, if that's the right way of putting it. So I was thinking about, okay, how do I communicate this with my fellow brothers and sisters? And I'm not sure if you're familiar with what is called critical thinking. So critical thinking, maybe a lot of you know what they are or what it is, but I went to, what is this thing called? AI. uh, you might say, well, maybe the information is not right, but let's go through what we have. I mean, we all have brains, we have thinking. So basically, critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information to guide belief and action. It involves questioning assumptions, detecting biases, and using logic to form well reasoned, objective judgments. So, this crucial skill enables individuals to solve problems effectively by separating fact from opinion and evaluating evidence. Why I'm bringing up this critical thinking process? As I mentioned, some of the comments that they're made by my fellow brothers and sisters, I don't know these people personally. I don't know, just there's a comment. I mean, somebody else might have put it just trying to create headache or whatever. I don't know who you are when you're making these comments. So the best way I think is going through the communicating what happened in the last two programs, especially the previous one with Professor Ephraim, and trying to look at it, what a critical thinking is. As you saw, let's go to the other one that goes more deeper into explaining. So the objective analysis is evaluating information, arguments, or situations without letting personal feelings or biases dictate the conclusion. That's the objective analysis. Active questioning, constantly asking questions about the source, validity, and purpose of information, right? Systematic evaluation, using structured, logical, and rational standards to assess information. And the last part is perspective taking, considering alternative viewpoints and identifying potential consequences. Like the subject that with professor was that the Chaldean, I'm just giving an example, was the Chaldean identity that we are. Patriarch Sako says, I am Chaldean, we are Chaldean, ethnicity, we are Chaldean, everything, history, denomination, and just kept on separating that from whatever it was, right? So this is the information received. Critical thinking, if we want to apply that, you say, okay, the Chaldean church and Patriarch Sako is the patriarch, right? Is the head of the church. However, there is a history, right? The Chaldean church or diocese or whatever you want to call that did not start with Patriarch Sako. So by critical thinking, we go back in history. Then we find out, can we put that regarding, even though I didn't finish the critical thinking, can we put that part before the 1552? I'm using this as an example of critical thinking. So when the identity is Chaldean and the patriarch is mentioning it and saying that we are separate and everything, you go back in history. So as you read, you can check that yourself. It's, as I said, this is not opinion, this is not feelings being biased, just history. It says before the 1552 schism that created the first Chaldean line, the Church of the East was united under a single leader. And the patriarch immediately preceding the split was Shummun the seventh Ishoyab. He was patriarch from 1539 to 1558. And he was, excuse me, the last patriarch of the unified Church of the East. So up until that date, there was no ethnicity identity, critical thinking, right? So the patriarch makes that comment, puts it up the Chaldean church website. So these are the things that while going through the comments and everything that was said, we are trying to approach that in civilized manner, if you want to put it, but it's not just civilized, being nice to each other. What is right? Critical thinking. That was just an example. So prior to 1553 or whatever it was, we were all one. Oh, there was no ethnicity. There was no Chaldean. Nothing. Even until 2003, when the patriarch was Mar Raphael Bidavid. That's history. He said, I am Assyrian. My denomination is Chaldean. Then the next two, Patriarch Delhi and now Patriarch Sako, they switched. Now, going back to the critical thinking, the other part that The one that says teach thought says, according to teach thought and other sources, the most important critical thinking skills. So we're talking about skills, okay? They include analysis, breaking down complex information. I don't know if the information is complex, but there is information. We found out 500 years ago, we were all one, right? Interpretation, understanding the meaning of data. That's what I just did. I interpreted the data. Oh, up until that date, one unified church of the East. And they were all one ethnicity. Indif- Inference means drawing logical conclusions. Evaluation, assessing the credibility and strength of arguments. And problem solving, which means developing solutions. So, what is the benefit? Can we see that last one? So, critical thinking is essential for making better decisions, avoiding common reasoning mistakes, and navigating the vast amount of information encountered daily. It is a learned behavior that improves through practice. Learned behavior. Now, learned behavior. So that means spending time to learn something, or we learn it from other people that they have authority on a certain subject. Automatically, from what I've seen from the comments, since the patriarch has this position as the head of the Catholic Roman Chaldean Catholic Church, what he says is true, right? That's how you learn. If you don't, go outside and try to see if there are other sources that give you the same answer, or maybe you see sources says, "Hey, wait a minute, I just saw that Chaldean before 1553 we were all one." So how we learn? Do we just trust authorities on just one person? Do we open books? Do we go history? Even I mean, nowadays with the internet, we have access. There's a lot of false information out there too. That means critical thinking comes in and analyze, check this. And the benefit, as it says here, is that critical thinking is essential for making better decisions, avoiding common reasoning mistakes, and navigating the vast amount of information encountered daily. It is a learned behavior that improves through practice. Okay. So, what's the big deal about this subject that I have to apply this such critical thinking and all these, right? Well, we're talking about power of what is called a patriarch. See, when somebody says I'm a patriarch, they get their power from this Holy Bible. To be specific, they trace it back to Simon Peter, that Jesus told him, "You will no longer be called Simon. You are Peter," which means rock. On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom. Everything you open here will be open in heaven, or shut on earth will be shut in heaven. So the authority that these uh, patriarchs are claiming is through Bible, is through interpreting what Jesus says to Peter, and they claim that that apostolic succession that has come down from Peter applies to them, and they are the ones that they are telling people how to live a Christian life at the and they follow that. That's when they will go to heaven, be with Jesus Christ, and all is good and hunky and dory and all these good stuff, right? Critical thinking. This book. One of the comments, I'm starting to go through some of the comments. This one I will not show. Uh, let's show part of that. Oh, before we go to that, I'm sorry. We have, can you show the photo of court? Because some of the comments, there's like You guys are judging. Professor Yildiz, you're not a judge. Listen to Jesus. Don't judge. You're Joseph. You're judging. You're this and that. So when we talk about judge, let's think critically. Who is judge? So I took this photo. I chose this photo to illustrate the critical thinking when somebody says, "Thou shalt not judge your brothers and sisters." This is a courtroom. You see at the back, there is a man sitting with two flags, blue and red, next to him. This guy is a judge. To the right, I think, because I don't know, my right and the screen right is the same. You see these people sitting. These are the what they call jury. Is that right? Is that my right? Those people sitting? Yeah. So to my right, you will see these people sitting. These are the jury. And at the front of the photo, there is a man and woman sitting on the desk. And on the other side, there is a woman sitting on the desk. And there is a guy in the middle has this photo. So when it subject comes, you shall not judge, look at the courtroom. The judge is sitting there. However, he is listening. Let's say the guy holding that photo, he is the what they call the district attorney from the government presenting evidence regarding the person that is sitting with the other guy at the photo, that this person is guilty or whatever the evidence is being presented. The jury is sitting there and listening. They're doing their part of the critical thinking. They're getting the evidence, analyzing data, what is being given to them as far as how to make a decision regarding that person, if that person is guilty based on the evidence or not guilty based on the evidence. So when the district attorney, then the defense attorney, they do their part, then the decision goes to the jury, and they decide guilty or not guilty. They are not judging. That's when the judge comes based on the verdict, says, okay, since you are guilty, you will get, let's say it was uh, first degree murder. You're guilty, you will be punished by death, or you will go to jail for the rest of your life. That's judging. Providing the evidence, being the one of the members of jury, that is not judging. When I drink this coffee here, I need some sugar. I'm not judging it. It needs some sugar based on my taste. Being careful on the communication level. I'm not saying that the communication was not right, but the thing is that what have you learned? Based what we have learned, we use that word a lot. Don't judge. Don't judge, Professor Ephraim. You shouldn't have judged. Can we see those two, the two comments? Where is that? Since you're quoting from the Bible, please return to what Jesus emphasized. Do not judge, but spread love and care. These are the foundations of his teaching. Foundation of his teaching. This is where his teaching is given. You check it out. If you want, if it's important for you to find out what is the foundation of his teaching, and right there it says, do not judge. This comment was made regarding the program that we did with, what's his name? Uh, Bishop Yusef Toma. Spread love and care. Did you, my brother, listen to what Bishop Joseph Toma said? Did you make a comment on him to say, Brother Joseph or Bishop Joseph? Please, you are the one representing Jesus Christ because you're wearing you are the one representing Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ says, spread love and care. And you're insulting Assyrians, even though history says you are one of them. Critical thinking. The other comment that was made by the same person, There's so many that I keep forgetting. That's why I have to read them myself. And that person continues, says, all I'm trying to say is this: you are free to teach, but do not judge or speak about others in a way that contradicts the very teaching of Christ. Same thing. Did you tell Bishop Yusef Toma? When there is misinformation. See, these people are supposed to be all about unity, all about love, all about being one. They always claim the final commandment that Jesus Christ gave to his disciples, the disciples that these bishops and patriarchs claim that they have the keys and have received it from them, right? The final commandment that Jesus gave them before he was crucified. He told them, love each other as I have loved you. And by you loving each other the way that I loved you, how did Jesus love them? He gave his life. He gave his life. And he tells his disciples, love each other as I have loved you. And by the way that you love each other, the way that I have loved you, the whole world will know that you belong to me. Do you see that? Critical thinking. I was like reading this final commandment by Jesus Christ. These people are representing Jesus Christ, right? And comments that are coming. I appreciate it. This was my, I was like telling Assyria TV, we are destroyers. Yeah, we destroy bullshit. I'm sorry to put that. This is what we destroy. You come in the name of my Lord, right? You get destroyed. We have the information. Unfortunately, most of the, I'm sorry to turn it in a negative way, but because of my brothers and sisters being misled away from Jesus Christ, Assyrian TV or Assyrian destroyer, the so-called Assyrian media destroyed our great Assyrian nation by dividing us with their lies. Who is dividing? Did you listen to Patriarch Sako? Did you listen to Bishop Yusef Toma? Sometimes I think some of these people making comments, they're a bunch of idiots. But as I said in the two programs ago, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. Says you all destroyed the Assyrian reputation. How? We became a laughing stock to the world, and you made our enemies gloating and laughing at us? Really? Thank you for your comment. Says thanks to you all and shame on you all. If this is being shamed, I'd rather be shamed. Critical thinking. Don't follow blindly. Because when you follow blindly by these, whatever you want to call them, where are you going to end up? See, one of the problems that I've noticed is that most of the people have been in these denominations so long. It's like, but this is my church, this is my patriarch, this is my bishop. I've known them. They're so good, they're so great, they're so nice. They're so nice. All these years, my kids were baptized. I got married there. My father baptized, grandfather baptized. We have history there. Okay, let me give you a critical thinking question. You are sitting in the car and you want to go from, let's say, in California, from San Jose to Los Angeles. You have to go south about 300 miles. You get information, not GPS. Somebody, a friend of you says, oh, you need to go north. And you trust that person. You love that person. You've known him all your life. You didn't check. You follow them. Instead of going south, you're heading north. Along the way, you hear these people say, man, you want to go to Los Angeles, you got to go south. Change your direction. What is that word we use in Christianity? Repent. Repent is very simple. The direction that you're going, turn towards Jesus Christ. I trusted that person. No, he said that's the direction I'm going. Baba Jan, no. Check it out. There is GPS, there are maps, there is so much information out there, my brothers, sisters. No, I trust him. And you keep going. And the further you go, the further you are from your destination. And the only way is to turn around, repent, return. If you want to end up in the right place. Critical thinking. I lost track. Let's show the other one that they are praising Professor Yildiz. To the so-called Professor Ephraim Yildiz, and they're quoting from Bible. Saint Paul said, "It is not shame you don't know, but it is shame you don't want to learn." Last time I checked, Professor Yildiz has a PhD. Let me see. Of Hebrew Aramaic Studies, Faculty of Philology at the University of Salamanca. I mean, if you tell me that, yeah, Joseph, you don't have no degree, no nothing. You don't teach. He has this position called full professor at the national level in Spain, highest rank in Spanish university. So maybe those Spanish people are idiots. What do you think? So that's what you said. It is not shame you don't know, but it's a shame you don't want to learn. St. Paul said that. Who did he say that to? And he quote again from Jesus said, to know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That was the truth. Professor said it. You're going the wrong direction and you're trusting the wrong people, my brothers and sisters. It's your choice. If we want to go the right direction and share that direction with our brothers and sisters, you don't like it, it's your choice. When we have program regarding Yusef Toma, when we bring Professor Ephraim Yildiz, Assyria provides the place for this information being said. Over 13,000 of you watch that program. Why? I mean, I'm kind of jealous, when I do my own program, I don't get that many views, but Professor comes and so many people want to see him. Why? I mean, he's good looking, but I don't think it's because of his looks, right? Come on, let's be honest. Why so many people? Because we care from the day we named ourselves Ashur, being the people of the creator, being the people of the beginner, the beginning, then switching to Christianity. We always that's been part of our life. People care. People, am I on the right track? Am I on the right path? Am I going with the right people to end up when the time comes with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? We care. We want to know, and it shows. Thank God for Assyria TV to provide this format, and thank God we have somebody that knows what he's talking about, like Professor Yildiz. Again, thank you for your comments. Last but not least, we are coming to the end of the program. It was very valuable, Professor Ephraim, brother. I mean, it would be better if this beautiful program was in our own language. Greetings and regards. It would have been better. However, to communicate the way that I speak, Professor, of course, has access learning both East and Western dialogue. But if you want to do that, which one? Because either way, we're going to lose a lot of our brothers and sisters to communicate that in either Eastern or Western dialect. English is the language of the world. And right now, it's the best. I mean, I would love to be able to speak my own language. So everybody would understand. So everybody would understand. But right now, we have English. If you have any solutions to that, more than welcome. Send it to us. We will do it in a way that we use it our own beautiful language. And we're coming to the end of the program. Thanks for the comments. I hope you're not getting offended. Critical thinking. You want to be on the right path. Think and grow rich. Because truth, as you say, said, truth is gives you freedom. And seek it and trust on the authority that is giving you the directions that where you're heading. pasted the directions that I have from this book. Ahiya Ashur Chaya. Blessed be Ashur, the work of God's hand. Chaya Ashur. Mabqila. Thank you. See you next program. Bye.
شيخاني.